Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Falsa. So we're in the new KVK. We're still in Zone 1. The Level 1 passes into Zone 2 open up real soon here. Just a little under 19 hours, and then we'll be fighting. But today we're here to talk to you again about Doom Pets. Some time ago, we discussed a very powerful moon bear named Elvis, and here's Elvis here. Obviously, 8 slots, 3 stars, everything. Max strength, max agility, very good luck. And Elvis here, he's got the counterattack build, right? So he's got the 3-star counter strike, a 3-star advanced counter strike. A few players wrote to me and say, hey, that's good, but we think the fierce attack package is better on the Moon Bear. Well, now I've got those Moon Bears, and let's take a look at them. The first of those Moon Bears, we got Holly Berry here. Huge fan of her earlier work around, the turn of the century. But now she's, wrecking people in Bastion fights and pass fights. Right, Holly Berry is the pet of Westside. He's in the FF, or Fireborn Fighters Alliance. So let's look at this one. We got 8 slots, max strength, max agility, better luck, a little bit better endurance. But instead of the counter-strike, counter-attack package, we've got the fierce attack package here, right? So we got fierce attack, intense fierce attack, and advanced fierce attack. Now, one of the things you'll notice, right, the talent skill, that's a strength skill. Obviously, you have to have Fatal Bite. So that only leaves one more slot for a strength skill. And really, it's going to come down to Tooth and Claw, which Elvis had, or Fierce Attack. So if you go with the Fierce Attack package, you have to lose Tooth and Claw. So if you go with Fierce Attack, I think Intense Fierce Attack is an obvious choice. Increase that proc chance from 50% to additional, 95% or so on this bear. So that's really good. And then the last choice you have is, do you want Advanced Fierce Attack, which increases the damage of your Fierce Attack, but only Fierce Attack? Or the alternative is Intense Moon Rage. Now, Intense Moon Rage, that's an endurance skill. So between Intense Moon Rage and Advanced Fierce Attack, which one's better? Honestly, it's going to depend on the stats in your bear, right? Moon Rage has a higher base damage. So if your endurance and your agility were exactly the same, you should go with Intense Moon Rage. But you can see here on Holly Berry, his agility is like literally maxed. Whereas endurance is just A tier and kind of middle A tier, not very impressive. So I think on this bear, Advanced Fierce Attack is the better option. All right, but Halle Berry is not the only additional moon bear that got sent in to me. Let's take a look at Turbo Skunk here. And Turbo Skunk is a pet of negative QT, and he's in the Echo Alliance. 8 slots, 3-star everything, and you see not only does he have S tier strength, S tier agility, S tier luck, he's also got S tier endurance, and they're basically all near the max of what you can be. There's a little bit of room for agility here, but really we're kind of picking at nits at that point. All right, and he's got a very similar build. He's got the Fierce Attack build, but instead of Advanced Fierce Attack, he's gone with Intense Moon Rage. And like I said, is that the right choice here? Well, you look at his endurance, it's, 317, it's max. It's better than his agility, and it's better than a tie here, so this is the right choice here. Okay, so we've got one bear with the counterattack package. We got 2 bears with the fierce attack package. 1 bear going with advanced fierce attack. 1 bear going with intense moon rage. Which is better? Well, it's another one of those it depends answers. Okay, so the moon bear, one of the reasons the moon bear is such a strong pet is that it serves multiple roles. Okay, it's ideally designed for Magro Danfell, and the reason you see so many just cracked out moon bears is because this is really the meta pet right now for your rally garrison fights, right? Now, why is this so important? These rally garrison fights in a Bastion would just go on for hours sometimes, leading to hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dead troops on both sides. And the reason why the pet is so important is because it really just becomes a pain threshold question. Who can sustain more pain? Who's willing to take more dead troops? And who's ever willing to take more dead troops won. All right. So what do? You maxed out your infantry heroes. Okay, that's not too hard. You awaken them. You 6-star them. You get a max artifact. And then the thing you work on is getting a max pet. And that's why you see so many max pets out there. Because it is the leverage point, or at least historically it was the leverage point, to make the rally garrison fight as good as possible. Okay, that's why you saw so many great moon bears. So, what is the moon bear for? Well, first, it's for the rally garrison. We just talked about it. Second, it's for, if you're using Magro Danfell in the open field, this is the pet you should use with them, all right? Now, Magro Danfell, they're not quite as good as Gorskogel in the open field. In fact, I would say Gorskogel are substantially better in the open field. But hey, if you want to throw multiple infantry out there, they're probably your second choice. So this is the pet you want with them, real strong with them. And then the third thing is the Moon Bear kind of doubles as a cav pet, particularly for Magro, Magro Tobran type marches. And so, it really sees a lot of different uses. So which build is the best? Okay. If you're getting hit by multiple targets, then for sure you want the Counter-Strike package, right? Because it does substantially more AoE damage, which is what you want. So for open field fights, you definitely want the Counter-Strike package. In the one-on-one fights, the Fierce Attack package is better. So you got to ask yourself, what is the main purpose of my Moon Bear? And the answer to that question is going to determine which way you want to go. I think the reason we build these things out so strong is for the one-on-one fight. So I think the Fierce Attack package is superior to the Counter-Strike package for these insane cracked out Moon Bears. It's not 100% of the time, but if you come to me for my advice, which way should I go? That's the way that I would advise. Between the Fierce Attack packages, which is better? Would you rather have? Intense Moon Rage or Advanced Fierce Attack? Well, like I said, the base damage on Moon Rage is higher than the base damage on Fierce Attack. So if you had all your stats maxed out, you'd rather have Intense Moon Rage. Alright, break. Like I said, the reason we care about these Moon Bears so much is that, the Rally Garrison meta, in particular the Bastion fights. Well, things have changed a bit, and the Moon Bear, its day in the sun might be coming to an end. Let me explain. Right, we've got a lot of changes. Like I said, historically, you max out your infantry heroes, you 6-star them, you awaken them. That's not that tough. You maxed out their artifact. Okay, that's expensive, but it's not that tough. Then the thing you had to do was get the exemplar version of whatever artifact. You can manage that. It was a bit prohibitive, but the whales, the krakens, they could do that. Then the next thing you had to do was get to SVIP, VIP 16 for the buffs there. Okay, once again, that's another bar for even your mid spenders, but your krakens can get there. But now there's some additional things that are changing. First, they've changed the way bastions work, and now there's a buffer around them in which you can no longer put cities, you can no longer place the bastion near cities, and you can no longer teleport your cities near the bastion. So in theory, it's going to be tougher to reinforce them, and the open field fight might become more important than the simple rally garrison fight. So we'll see about that, but it's at least trending towards control of the field becoming more important than simply having the best march, either leading the rally or leading the bastion. All right, that's number one. Number two, we got some new infantry heroes coming out, right? Kuma and Lei Quan, if I'm saying that right. 2 new infantry heroes. I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen their skills yet. But one of them's a rally hero, so you might see a change, at least in the rally pet. And that's number 3 here. We've got a new Warpet here, the Masrak Orok Infantry Fighter Tank. Almost assuredly, this new pet's going to be designed for the 2 new infantry heroes. We don't know yet, but there's a decent chance, just based on power creep, that this will be the new meta rally pet. I think the Moon Bear very likely is still going to be the meta garrison pet. We'll see if it hangs on still being the meta rally pet or whatever. And obviously people are going to have to take some time to build these out. So, the future may change is all I'm saying there. So we got 2 new bears today, Holly Berry and Turbo Skunk. They're both easily 10 out of 10. 8 slots, the right 8 skills, all 3-starred, massive impact on the field. No complaints about either of them. They're both built, perfect way. I'm going to give the narrowest edge to Turbo Skunk here just because of that amazing endurance score in addition to everything else. And so I think Turbo Skunk, like I said, I think that's the number 1 pet I've seen in the game today. That's all I got for you today. I'll soon be going into fighting in my KVK, so hopefully I'll have some highlights for you pretty soon here. And until next time, you stay classy, Belleron.